Today I'm talking about 5 Final Fantasy TCG full art cards you should have your eye on. The Final Fantasy TCG sometimes flies under the radar. It's a great card game that continues to put out expansion sets, and while there aren't a lot of sales going on consistently, there are quite a few full art cards that definitely fetch a premium. Today, I'm going to give you 5 full art cards that have come out pretty recently that I've had my eye on. If you're interested in collecting or investing in the Final Fantasy TCG, these are some full art cards you want to check out. Before we get started, remember I'm no financial advisor. This is something I do for fun and that I enjoy speculating on. That being said, let's get started. The first card I'm talking about today is this Terra full art card from Final Fantasy Crystal Dominion. This is the most recent TCG expansion. Terra is one of the main characters in Final Fantasy VI. She is an iconic character in the franchise. There have been other Terra cards in the TCG. However, I feel like this one probably has the best eye appeal of all of them. It is a full art card, it is very rare, and it has very strong sales. The market price is currently $79.16. There were a lot of early sales around $45, $60. It really increased to $90, $150, $80, $120. And then the only cards listed right now, the lowest market price is $160, and then moving up from there. There is not a dramatic supply being added to TCGPlayer, and I feel like this one just has a lot of good potential for the future. I have been buying this card myself. I have 5 copies. And one thing I want you to keep in mind is I bought these off of both TCGPlayer and eBay, and the card quality is extremely good. I have not seen any bit of whitening. The centering looks okay to me. It's kind of hard to tell on these Final Fantasy full art cards, but overall it seems like the printing quality of the Final Fantasy TCG cards is extremely good, and you have a very good chance of having at least a PSA 9 or 10 or BGS 9.5 if you were to buy a lot of these cards raw. I'm hoping to grade the 5 that I have, and they all look gem mint to me, and maybe even I can get some BGS 10s or even black labels coming back. The next Final Fantasy full art card I'm going to recommend is also from the latest expansion, Crystal Dominion, in this Cellus full art. Cellus is also a character from Final Fantasy VI. I honestly don't know a whole lot about this character myself. I know about Terra because she's so iconic. I didn't play Final Fantasy VI growing up. I started with Final Fantasy VII. However, I noticed that on TCGPlayer, these cards are regularly selling. The market price is only $65.79. However, the most recent sales have been consistently going for over $80, and there are only 3 listed currently on TCGPlayer. The card does have a nice eye appeal, and it appears to be the second most popular full art card after Terra, so there could be good potential for this one going forward. Next, from a few sets back, the Opus 13 Crystal Radiance. This lightning full art card comes from the Opus 13 Crystal Radiance expansion set. This is a really great full art card of a very popular mainline Final Fantasy character from the Final Fantasy 13 series. It's just a really epic art with this very elaborate gown and 2 epic looking swords. It really makes me think about the 3rd game in the Final Fantasy 13 series, where she can swap out all of these different outfits depending on what class or job she's playing at. She can equip all kinds of different kinds of weapons, and so we see 2 weapons here that are very, very different. Nonetheless, they are swords, which are her main type of weapon. An art style that is very reminiscent of the famous Final Fantasy illustrator Yoshitaka Amano. It is a different artist, but the style definitely resembles that of Amano, and I think that the classic art style combined with this very popular and also very recent Final Fantasy character will help this card stand the test of time. The set is also getting a little bit older, and there aren't a whole lot listed on either TCGPlayer or eBay. I noticed that there's one listing currently on eBay that I could find with a buy it now price of $165 and a starting bid of $115 with 5 days to go. The TCGPlayer market price is $155.66. There are consistent sales over $100, and there are consistent sales around that price. There aren't a lot listed, and the lowest currently on TCGPlayer is $200. $60. This is one that's seen some dramatic price action, but seems to have consolidated pretty well at a very healthy price, so it could be one to keep your eye on in the near future. Another very popular female character from the Final Fantasy series, we have the Ashe full art from Opus 12, also an expansion that is getting a little bit older. I also think that this one has really great eye appeal. I love the very cool color scheme with all of the different variants of blues, this almost pencil sketched art style. This one has a little bit of a lower barrier to entry. The market price is around $62.04. It has actually fallen from some of its highs, as there have not been sales very recently, and there are getting to be quite a bit listed between $40 and $50. So it could be a good time to get in on this card. I do think it could have some upward potential. Ashe is a very popular character from the Final Fantasy 12 game. I think Final Fantasy 12 is really a classic and kind of seems to be going under the radar currently compared to other Final Fantasy games and characters, so another one to keep your eye on. Now this one's one that I'm going to actually offer a warning about. This is another Ashe card, more recent from the Crystal Dominion set that the Terra and Cellus cards are also from. This is a full art reprint, and though I was just talking up Ashe as a great character coming from a great game from the Final Fantasy series, I'm just a little bit underwhelmed by the art in this one. It doesn't even have an illustrator listed unless I missed it on the card, and the reason I don't like this one is Ashe is very diminished in this card. She's kind of in the background, and there are some other characters. Balthier is on there. I don't even remember the name of the character at the very front of this card, and it just doesn't really meld well with the style of other Final Fantasy full art cards, where the character takes up much more space on the card and has just an overall more attractive art style. This market price is currently at $47.02. However, the prices have been going down. You can find a whole bunch listed between $30, $40 and going over $40 on TCGPlayer. I think that if you're interested in getting an Ashe card, you may as well get the other one I just talked about, or even just save up some money to go after some of the other full art cards that I have recommended. That does it for 5 recent Final Fantasy full art cards that you might want to keep your eye on. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I am trying to grow my channel, and I'd love to do more content like this one. Hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.